cabinet, which will not act on the allegations against President Cyril Ramaphosa until all necessary investigations are done. Minister in the Presidency, Mondli Gugubele, was briefing the media a short while ago on the outcomes of the cabinet meeting held yesterday. Ramaphosa is facing scrutiny linked to the theft of millions of US dollars from his game farm. A criminal complaint was lodged by ex-spy boss Arthur Fraser, who also provided proof of an alleged cover-up. To unpack this further, I am joined live from our Cape Town studios by Minister Gugubele himself. Minister, thank you very much for being patient with me while I spoke to the judge. Just firstly, I believe that the Presidency feels that there has been some sort of breach of security pertaining to, for instance, the economic freedom fighters releasing footage of what happened at the President's farm.
Thank you to your viewership. Thank you, Nomsa. I think that is quite a disturbing part for a political party, in my view, which is supposed to be alert of some conventions in as far as private residence is concerned, in particular when it affects the head of the state. To show a footage on television in the manner they have done shows disregard for the type of a person whose house they are showing, and it also shows a sense of recklessness and insensitivity. Quite disturbed about it, and I think it should be condemned. And the other point, Nomsa, is that in this whole narrative, what is also worrying is that there isn't a discussion about the security of the president, how his house was actually invaded. It's a big thing, because you're not talking about somebody here who is being challenged for stealing or for doing anything, except that in robbing, in actually entering his house, people robbing, he has to explain how was that handled. And little is said about the security of the president. I find it worrisome, but it finds expression again, that blind eye, in the manner EFF has dealt with it and when they were showing the footage.
So are you going to be taking action against the EFF for this?
It's a matter that we're going to look at, and if there are aspects for that purpose, it comes across as very weird. It comes across as just disregarding. I don't understand what kind of leadership they are, because at the end of the day, the president is the head of the state. When we're speaking about somebody who's not just the head of the ANC, the head of the state, I expect that all parties in South Africa to actually adhere and respect some conventions in as far as the security of the head of the state is concerned.
And now, Minister, just explain to us exactly what processes or avenues the President took upon realizing that this robbery had taken place at his farm.
The issue is that the president, remember, the president was not there, away from home. The president left it with his security to actually take the matter forward in as far as the legal sort of procedures are concerned. And again, Nomsa, I just want to state this point. I don't know whether people expect the president to go to the counter of a police station, the head of the state. Head of the state is surrounded by security that has got most of the relevant skills, because the head of the state's day-to-day life is, and the reputation and where he is the purview and the responsibility of security at all material times. You don't want to expose the head of the state to situations that would actually undermine the dignity of the position that he's holding. So I think it should be stressed. I don't think we expect the head of the state, who has been robbed, to go to a police station counter and be found doing that. That's why the heads of states have got such machinery. It's to make sure that their day-to-day life, even the farm, is not being managed by the president, it's managed by a manager. And all those things, when we are involved in this, what we call narratives, we must take them into account. But we continue again to say, having said all that, we are very much inspired by the president's commitment to actually cooperate with all the law enforcement agency in as far as this matter is concerned.
I think it's very important questions that the public has, and I hear you say that we cannot expect the president or the head of state to be sitting at a counter at a police station opening a case. But do we know what happened after he reported it to his PPU head? Was it taken to the police for investigation? Because if not, that is what is adding to South Africans having suspicion about this crime.
Those questions, Nomsa, need to be answered by the head of the management or the leadership of the PPU, that is Presidential Protection Unit.
All right, so you won't be able to answer them?
It is in their purview that they should actually deal with that, yes.
Is the presidency not interested, though, to find out, because this is making the head of state look some type of way to South Africans? And also, has he been able to tell the presidency or in confidence let you know that he does keep large amounts of cash, especially foreign currency, on his premises?
In terms of reporting, the president has said it several times. He gave this matter to his security. The issue of what cash was supposed to be there or not there is a matter that we continue to say. We leave it with the law enforcement agency, with the financial institutions, who have got relevant authority to pronounce on those matters.
But I'm sure you do agree, Minister, that South Africans do need answers to this particular case.
Correct. South Africans always are entitled to answers, especially when it comes to public figures, but answer both ways. Even I'm saying, I'm not making a demand. I think we should be worried when the precinct of the president is actually invaded in the manner it does. And South Africans, in as far as all the developments that are concerned there, are entitled to answers. And there are institutions to actually prosecute and actually reach those answers. And that is what the president has committed to actually cooperate with.
And talking about that, Minister, is the head of state actually safe? I mean, how dangerous is it? What does it say that there's people who can have such easy access to one of his properties like that? And talking about whether or not he's safe, his PPU head, which he reported the crime to, what does it say about them in protecting the president and all of his properties?
It's a matter, Nomsa, that needs explanation, and those answers won't come from me now, but that's a huge question that must be clarified in investigating all the underlying factors that led to this situation.
And today, the EFF, the president, of course, is expected at 2 o'clock to give his budget vote speech. The EFF has vowed not to let him continue without answering the questions that a lot of South Africans also have. So what preparations is Parliament doing, if you can tell us maybe, to make sure that the president actually does go ahead with the business of the day?
We expect the Speaker of the Parliament and the entire management of the chamber to actually apply the rules that ensure that the activities of the chamber are executed in an orderly manner. We expect no different, because now it is the president speaking. Remember, the president today is presenting his budget to the people of South Africa and actually reporting or accounting on the progress he has made on a number of commitments he has done. He is not doing that to the EFF. He is doing that to the people of South Africa. And the chamber is provided for that purpose, and we expect the rules of chamber that ensure the required order or the requisite order for that purpose, those rules are going to be applied.
Has the president, for instance, been advised that tomorrow when questions come his way, he shouldn't say anything about this particular case pertaining to Phala?
No. The president has actually briefed everyone about the highlights of the story. He's done it to the public. He's spoken to Limpopo. The president has not been hiding this. But in going to debating and discussing this matter, the president respects the relevant institutions which are actually involved in actually unpacking what happened. So for the president to dabble in that, the president finds it unwise, and we support the president in that approach, because at the end of the day, we always say, allow the law to take its course. If it is important to allow the law to take its course, that applies even in the situation of the president.
All right. Well, Minister, thank you very much for speaking to us about this particular issue. And I'm glad you agree that South Africans do need an answer. And also, Minister, before you go, it's Masejo, not Nomsa. But thank you for the new name.
Oh, Masejo, my apology.
It's okay. Thank you very much for speaking to me here on all angles. That's the Minister in the Presidency, Mondli Gugubele. Well, at some point, I think South Africans will expect to hear more reasons, especially pertaining to the fact that the President did allude in Limpopo during questions and during the time that he was speaking at the closure of the elective conference in that particular province. He said that he did tell his head of the Presidential Protection Unit about the robbery, and that is the person who had to take it forward because the President happened not to be on that property at the time. But like you heard me ask the question to the Minister, what does this say about the head of the Protection Unit himself if people can just get into the home of a person who's the head of state and be able to get away with money there? But of course, a lot of South Africans are asking, what is, the case number for this particular case? That is what's adding to the questions and suspicions that South Africans have in terms of the President's alleged involvement in this particular case. Let's take you to a short break now, still to come on All